Ladies and gentlemen, life has a remarkable way of balancing its scales, often in ways that defy our immediate understanding. When you've been wronged, undervalued, or cast aside, it's natural to feel a sense of loss, perhaps even anger or confusion. But in those moments of pain, there is a deeper truth waiting to be embraced, a truth that whispers of justice woven into the fabric of existence itself. When someone chooses to overlook your worth, dismiss your contributions, or replace you in their life, it is not a reflection of your inadequacy. It is a testament to their inability to recognize the value you brought. The irony is that their decision to let you go sets into motion the very karma that will one day remind them of what they lost. Your absence becomes their lesson, and your replacement becomes their reminder. You see, life has a way of making us appreciate what we took for granted by showing us its absence. The person who replaced you might seem promising in the beginning, but no two people are the same. Your unique qualities, your perspective, your essence, these are irreplaceable. What you brought to the table was not just a role or a function, but the depth of your heart and the authenticity of your presence. No substitute can truly replicate that, and in time, the realization dawns on those who failed to see it. This is not about vengeance or wishing harm upon anyone. Karma is not about punishment, it is about balance. When someone undervalues another, the scales of life tip, and the universe gently works to restore equilibrium. It is a process of enlightenment for all parties involved. While they come to terms with what they have lost, you are given the freedom to grow beyond the constraints of their perception. You evolve, finding new opportunities, relationships, and environments that cherish and celebrate your true worth. The power in this truth lies in your ability to let go of resentment and embrace your own journey. Do not waste your energy proving your worth to those who failed to see it. Their karma is theirs to face, and your path is yours to walk. Use this time to nurture your strengths, rediscover your passions, and align yourself with people and places that value your light. The world is vast, and there are countless spaces where you are not only welcome but needed. Let your story be one of resilience, not bitterness. Each setback, each moment of rejection, is an opportunity to rise anew. Every time someone underestimates you, let it fuel your drive to excel, not to prove them wrong, but to honor the incredible potential within you. They may not see it now, but the universe will guide you toward those who will. Your journey will be a testament to the fact that losing you was not your loss, it was theirs. While they come to terms with their choices, you soar. Your success, happiness, and fulfillment become the ultimate response, not out of spite, but out of the sheer joy of living authentically and unapologetically. In doing so, you reclaim your power, proving to yourself and the world that no replacement can ever diminish your inherent value. Life moves forward, and so do you, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Your worth is not diminished by someone else's inability to see it. This truth is a cornerstone of resilience and self-worth, serving as a guiding principle during times of rejection, dismissal, or undervaluation. When someone overlooks your value or decides to replace you, it is easy to internalize the experience, questioning your abilities, contributions, or inherent worth. Yet the actions or perceptions of others are not mirrors of your identity. Their inability to recognize what you bring to the table is a reflection of their own limitations, not a judgment on your worth. It is crucial to understand that your value is not contingent upon external validation. Society often conditions us to seek approval, praise, and recognition from others as a measure of our worth. This conditioning can lead to moments of doubt when those affirmations are absent or withdrawn. However, true worth is intrinsic, it is independent of circumstances or opinions. Your unique qualities, your compassion, creativity, skills, and experiences are constants that remain valuable regardless of how others perceive them. When someone fails to see your worth, it is a reflection of their perspective, biases, or readiness to appreciate what you offer. Perhaps they are too focused on their own needs or expectations to notice the depth of your contributions. Sometimes their inability to value you stems from their own insecurities, fears, or unwillingness to acknowledge the strengths you bring. In such cases, it is essential to remind yourself that their limited perception does not define you. The act of being replaced can feel deeply personal, but it is rarely about you. In many instances, it is a choice driven by circumstances outside your control, a decision shaped by convenience, misunderstanding, or an inability to see beyond the surface. Instead of internalizing these experiences, consider them as moments of redirection. They are opportunities to step away from environments or relationships that fail to honor your true value and to move toward spaces that celebrate and uplift you. Your worth is anchored in your authenticity and the qualities that make you uniquely you. These qualities cannot be replicated or replaced, even when someone attempts to fill your role. The things you bring, your perspective, your emotional intelligence, your creativity, and your contributions are part of a singular tapestry that no one else can replicate. The world may not always immediately recognize this, but time has a way of revealing the depth of your significance. Reclaiming your sense of worth begins with self-awareness and self-compassion. Acknowledge the pain of rejection, but do not let it take root in your spirit. Allow yourself to grieve the loss of what could have been, but do so with the understanding that this loss is not a reflection of your inadequacy. Instead, use this moment as an opportunity to reconnect with your inner strengths and affirm your unique abilities. It is also helpful to surround yourself with people who uplift and value you. Seek relationships and environments where your worth is recognized and celebrated. These affirming spaces provide the validation that helps rebuild your confidence and remind you of the undeniable value you bring to any situation. Channel the experience into personal growth. Use it as a catalyst to refine your skills, deepen your understanding of yourself, and align with opportunities that resonate with your true potential. Every time you choose to grow, instead of allowing rejection to diminish you, you affirm your worth to yourself and the world. Your value does not fluctuate based on the opinions or decisions of others. It is a constant and unshakable truth that you carry within you. By embracing this reality, you free yourself from the weight of external judgment and step into the light of your own self-assuredness. Others may fail to see it, but your worth remains undiminished, a beacon of strength, resilience, and authenticity that no one can take away. Your absence becomes their lesson, a powerful truth that underscores the irreplaceable value you bring to any situation. When someone makes the decision to replace or dismiss you, they may do so believing that what you contributed can easily be replicated or surpassed. But in the void left behind, the unique qualities you brought, qualities that are a blend of your skills, personality, and perspective, become glaringly evident. It is often only in absence that true value is recognized, as people come to understand that what they took for granted was far more significant than they realized. Life has a way of teaching profound lessons through the absence of what was once present. When you are no longer there to offer your insight, compassion, or dedication, those who replaced or undervalued you are left to contend with the reality of what they've lost. This realization doesn't necessarily happen overnight. At first, they might be content with their decision, believing they've made the right choice. But as time unfolds, the subtleties of what you brought to their lives begin to surface. The experience of your absence is a mirror for those who overlooked you, reflecting their own missteps and short-sightedness. Perhaps it was your attention to detail that kept things running smoothly, your ability to navigate challenges with grace, or the way you brought warmth and humanity to every interaction. These are not things that can be easily duplicated by someone else. No matter how skilled or talented your replacement may be, they are not you. They do not possess your unique essence, and it is in this distinction that the lesson of your absence lies. This process is not about revenge or vindication, it is about natural consequences. When someone underestimates or undervalues you, they set themselves up to experience the gap left in your wake. It is not your responsibility to make them see their mistake. Life itself becomes the teacher, illuminating the void that cannot be filled by anyone else. Your absence becomes a quiet but undeniable testament to your significance, speaking volumes without needing words. The recognition of your value in your absence can also be a moment of personal empowerment for you. It reminds you of the unique strengths and qualities you bring to every space you occupy. This is not a call to arrogance, but a quiet acknowledgement of your worth. Too often, we question ourselves when others fail to see our value, wondering if we were not good enough or if we could have done more. but the truth is that their inability to appreciate you says more about them than it does about you. While they face the lesson of your absence, you are free to move forward. This is an opportunity for growth and renewal, a chance to align yourself with people and opportunities that recognize and celebrate your worth from the outset. Do not dwell on whether or not they have learned their lesson. Instead, focus on what lies ahead for you. The world is full of spaces where your unique contributions are needed, and there are people waiting to value you for who you truly are. At times, the realization of your worth may lead to attempts at reconciliation. Those who overlooked you might come back, seeking to mend the relationship or restore what was lost. Whether or not to re-engage is a decision only you can make, but always approach such moments with clarity and self-respect. Ensure that any renewed connection is based on genuine appreciation and not merely a response to regret. Your absence as their lesson is a natural and powerful phenomenon. It serves as a reminder that you are not replaceable, that your value is not tied to anyone's ability to recognize it, and that your worth remains constant regardless of others' perceptions. Trust in this truth, let go of resentment, and embrace the freedom that comes with knowing your contributions matter, even when they are acknowledged too late. Karma balances the scales in ways that are subtle yet undeniable. When someone undervalues, dismisses, or replaces you, it sets into motion a chain of events that restores balance to the universe. This isn't about revenge or wishing ill upon anyone. It is about the natural law of cause and effect that governs life. Every action has consequences, and those consequences often carry lessons that can't be ignored. When someone takes you for granted, the karmic scales shift, and the absence of your presence becomes a reality they must confront. Karma doesn't work on a human timeline, and its ways are not always immediately visible. It is not a sudden punishment or an act of cosmic wrath. Rather, it is a process of alignment, ensuring that the energies we put out into the world come back to us in kind. When someone chooses to disregard your value, they are sowing seeds of imbalance that will eventually grow into lessons of recognition. The void left by your absence is not something that can be ignored indefinitely. In time, they come face to face with the consequences of their choices. This balance isn't just about their realization, it's also about your liberation. When someone dismisses you, it can feel like an injustice, as though the scales have tipped against you. But karma ensures that you are not left in that state of imbalance. Their actions, while hurtful, open doors for you to grow, evolve, and find spaces where your value is acknowledged and celebrated. Karma works on your behalf as much as it works to teach them, redistributing the energy of the situation in ways that benefit all involved. The beauty of karma is that it doesn't require your intervention. You don't have to seek revenge or try to prove a point. Your energy is better spent focusing on your own journey, knowing that life will handle the rest. When you pour your efforts into growth, self-improvement, and positive actions, you are sowing seeds of good karma for yourself. At the same time, those who wronged you are left to face the ripple effects of their decisions. Karma is impartial. It neither judges nor takes sides. It simply ensures that what is sown is reaped, that every cause has an effect. This balance often manifests in subtle but profound ways. Perhaps the person who replaced you finds that their expectations are unmet, and they begin to understand the unique qualities you brought to the table. Maybe they experience challenges that mirror the ones they subjected you to, offering them a chance to see things from your perspective. These are not punishments, but opportunities for growth, just as your experience of being undervalued was an opportunity for your own evolution. It's important to note that karma is not about wishing harm upon anyone. Holding on to anger or resentment only weighs you down and disrupts your own balance. Instead, trust in the process and let go of the need to control outcomes. Focus on living authentically, staying true to your values, and moving forward with grace. When you do this, you align yourself with positive energy that attracts new opportunities and supportive relationships into your life. Your role in the karmic balance is to trust the process and focus on your growth. Every time you rise above the pain of being undervalued, you contribute to the restoration of balance. Every time you choose to act with integrity and kindness, even in the face of adversity, you align yourself with the flow of positive karma. The universe notices these choices, and the energy you put out returns to you in ways that uplift and empower you. Karma ensures that the scales are balanced not out of vengeance but out of necessity. It teaches lessons where they are needed and opens doors where they are deserved. By trusting in this process, you free yourself from the burden of carrying resentment and allow the universe to do its work. Life has a way of correcting its course, and karma is its compass, ensuring that balance is restored and justice is served in ways that promote growth and understanding for everyone involved. Resentment holds you back, while growth propels you forward. This is a fundamental truth that serves as a beacon during times of challenge and rejection. When you face situations where you are undervalued, replaced, or dismissed, it is natural to feel a surge of resentment. The sting of being overlooked or misunderstood can create a heavy burden, an emotional weight that tethers you to the past. But resentment, while a human response, is also a trap. It keeps you anchored to the very situations and people who have wronged you, robbing you of the energy needed to move forward. Resentment is a thief of potential. It consumes your thoughts, narrows your perspective, and saps your energy. It's like carrying a heavy stone in your heart, one that grows heavier with every moment you spend dwelling on what could have been or how unfairly you were treated. This emotional baggage doesn't hurt the person or situation that caused it, it only hurts you. By clinging to resentment, you allow the past to dictate your present and limit your future. The alternative to resentment is growth, a powerful force that transforms pain into progress. Growth is not about forgetting what happened or pretending that it didn't hurt. It's about using the experience as fuel for your journey forward. Growth invites you to ask yourself what lessons you can learn, what strengths you can build, and what opportunities await you on the other side of hardship. When you focus on growth, you shift your energy from the pain of the past to the possibilities of the future. Choosing growth begins with acceptance. Accept what has happened, not as a form of surrender, but as a way to free yourself from its grip. Acknowledge the emotions you feel: anger, sadness, frustration, and give yourself permission to process them. But don't let these emotions define you. Recognize that they are temporary and that you have the power to transform them into something constructive. Acceptance is not about condoning the actions of others, it's about reclaiming your power to decide how you respond to those actions. The path to growth also requires forgiveness, not necessarily for the sake of others, but for your own liberation. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior or forgetting the pain it caused. It's about releasing the hold that resentment has on your heart and mind. When you forgive, you take back control of your narrative, refusing to let the actions of others dictate your story. Forgiveness is an act of strength, a declaration that you are more committed to your peace than to your pain. Growth demands self-reflection and self-compassion. It calls on you to look inward and ask what you truly need to heal and move forward. Perhaps you need to set new boundaries, nurture your self-esteem, or realign with your values. These acts of self-care are not selfish, they are necessary steps in your journey of growth. By prioritizing your well-being, you create a foundation of strength that allows you to build a future free from the shadows of resentment. As you embrace growth, you begin to see challenges as opportunities. The pain of being replaced or undervalued becomes a catalyst for discovering your resilience and potential. You start to recognize that every setback is a setup for a comeback, a chance to prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming adversity. Growth transforms your perspective, allowing you to see rejection not as an end, but as a redirection towards something better suited to your worth. The journey from resentment to growth is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. It requires courage to let go of the comfort of blame and step into the uncertainty of change. It demands patience as you navigate the twists and turns of healing and self-discovery. But with every step you take, you move closer to a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. Growth is about reclaiming your power. It's about choosing to rise above the pain and become the best version of yourself. When you let go of resentment and embrace growth, you create a life that is not defined by what happened to you, but by how you responded to it. You become unstoppable, a force of resilience and determination, capable of turning any setback into a stepping stone. When you stop chasing validation from others, you unlock the power to truly be yourself. In a world that often measures success by external approval, it's easy to become consumed by the need for recognition and praise. Whether it's seeking validation from a boss, a partner, or society at large, the constant search for approval can be exhausting and disempowering. The desire to be accepted, understood, and praised is deeply human. But when it becomes the central force driving your actions, it creates an endless cycle of dependence on others for your self-worth. The truth is that validation from external sources can never provide the deep sense of fulfillment that comes from self-acceptance. While compliments and recognition from others can be uplifting, they are fleeting and often tied to conditions outside of your control. When you rely on others to validate your worth, you are placing your sense of self in their hands, giving them power over your emotions and self-esteem. This leaves you vulnerable to the unpredictability of others' opinions, which can fluctuate, leaving you uncertain about who you truly are and what you're capable of. True power lies in self-validation. When you begin to validate yourself, you free yourself from the need to seek approval from others. You recognize that your worth is intrinsic, not defined by the judgments or opinions of others. You no longer need others to tell you that you are capable, worthy, or valuable, because you know these things to be true within yourself. This self-validation is not arrogance or pride, it is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your own value, regardless of external circumstances. The key to self-validation is self-awareness. It requires a deep understanding of who you are, what you stand for, and what you bring to the world. When you know yourself, you no longer feel the need to seek out approval for the choices you make or the path you walk. You trust your instincts, your values, and your capabilities, and you take pride in the person you are becoming. This internal sense of validation is unshakable because it is rooted in your truth. Choosing to stop chasing validation also means accepting that you will not always be understood or appreciated by everyone. People may not always recognize your worth or appreciate the efforts you put forth, but that does not diminish your value. In fact, it makes you stronger as you become less dependent on others for your sense of self-worth. You learn to stand firm in your own power, not swayed by the opinions of those around you. This independence allows you to live more authentically, making choices that align with your values and desires, rather than trying to meet the expectations of others. When you stop chasing validation, you open the door to greater creativity, growth, and fulfillment. Free from the constraints of seeking approval, you are able to explore your passions, take risks, and pursue what truly excites you. You are no longer limited by the fear of rejection or judgment, and this freedom enables you to unlock your full potential. Self-validation encourages you to act boldly and confidently, knowing that your worth is not tied to anyone else's approval. By stopping the chase for external validation, you align yourself with your true purpose and power. You become the master of your own story, shaping your life from a place of inner strength and authenticity. This shift not only transforms your relationship with yourself, but also with the world around you. When you no longer seek validation from others, you begin to attract the right people and opportunities into your life, ones that resonate with your true self. In this space of self-validation, you are free to live fully, unburdened by the need for others to define your worth. The most empowering realization you can have is that your worth was never contingent upon someone else recognizing it. Often we place too much importance on being seen and appreciated by others, measuring our value through their eyes rather than our own. This misplaced dependency can lead to feelings of inadequacy, especially when those we value fail to reciprocate or acknowledge our significance. But when you understand that your value exists independently of external validation, you unlock a profound sense of freedom and strength. Your worth is intrinsic. It is not tied to your job title, the roles you play, or the opinions of others. It does not diminish when someone overlooks you, nor does it increase when someone praises you. Your worth simply is. It is the core of your being, an inherent part of who you are. When you internalize this truth, you begin to see yourself in a new light, not as someone defined by external markers of success or failure, but as a person of unwavering value. Realizing this allows you to reclaim your power. It is a transformative moment when you stop seeking permission from others to feel valuable. You no longer need their approval to validate your choices, your dreams, or your existence. This shift in perspective empowers you to make decisions based on your values and aspirations rather than trying to meet the expectations of others. You stop waiting for someone else to see your worth and instead begin to live in alignment with it. This understanding also changes the way you view rejection and loss. When someone undervalues you, it is not a reflection of your worth but of their inability to recognize it. Their failure to appreciate you does not define you, nor does it lessen your value. Instead of internalizing their judgment, you can see it as an opportunity to realign yourself with people and environments that truly honor and respect who you are. Owning your worth means showing up for yourself, even when others do not. It means setting boundaries, speaking up for your needs, and prioritizing your well-being. It is not an act of selfishness, but of self-respect. When you honor your worth, you teach others how to treat you. You send a clear message that you will not settle for less than you deserve, creating space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships in your life. This realization also brings a sense of peace. When you stop tying your worth to external validation, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of trying to prove yourself to others. You no longer feel the need to compete, compare, or conform. Instead, you can focus on being the best version of yourself, living authentically and unapologetically. This peace is a gift, a result of understanding that your worth has always been and will always be yours to own. By recognizing and embracing your inherent value, you step into a version of yourself that is confident, resilient, and empowered. You radiate a quiet strength that inspires others and attracts opportunities that align with your true self. In this space, you become unstoppable, no longer defined by others, but by the limitless potential within you. The journey to understanding and embracing your intrinsic worth is one of the most powerful transformations you can experience. When you stop seeking validation from others and recognize that your value has always been inherent, you unlock a life of freedom, peace, and authenticity. You stop letting others define you, and instead you define yourself by your values, actions, and the strength that lies within you. This self-awareness enables you to make decisions that align with your true purpose, embrace opportunities without fear of rejection, and create relationships that honor your true worth. The power to shape your destiny, to live with confidence, and to act unapologetically rests within you. You are valuable, not because of external approval, but because of who you are at your core. Embrace this truth, and you will transform your life in ways you never imagined.